So about a year ago, I was sitting in a room of peers, and we were chatting with the person running the Greater Phoenix Economic Council, and we had an opportunity to sit and ask questions. I think I did a video right after that talking about, hey, what were the things that the takeaways and those types of things. And one of the things that I remember more than anything, and I've shared since then, was at some point he said, hey, what do you think are the biggest challenges that are facing Phoenix right now? And this was the question posed to the room. And answers were, of course, water. But water wasn't one of the biggest issues, nor is water one of the bigger issues, because we have plenty of water. We have plenty of groundwater. And again, for residential use, we've got plenty. Cool. Good to know. But the issue that we weren't expecting was power. Was where are we going to get the electricity to power all these data centers? Where are we going to get all of that? All of that stuff. Okay, that was something to think about. What we also weren't ready for was that the infrastructure system here in the Phoenix area, it was considerably under less than adequate for what we're needing right now from a standpoint of what are the pieces to that puzzle that are either hard to get or are just exceptionally expensive. Transformers. What with these transformers that are needed on our power lines, when something goes down, what does that look like? It was just something that we hadn't thought of. And this week, online, found some information that was kind of tying back into that same argument and that same issue, and something that, as a business owner, as a you know homeowner here in the valley, as an investor here in the valley of real estate properties, something that I thought that was interesting that crossed my desk this week has to do with APS increasing prices due to the 64% increase in pricing of these transformers as one of these things. Additional reasons as well, but what it sounds like is happening is, by the end of this year, we're going to know, by the end of 2026, we'll know as to whether or not APS is going to be able to increase their pricing by 14%, base pricing by 14%, which could take effect for 2027. And, that's significant when it comes to renting properties, managing properties. Last year, we saw a pretty decent price reduction in rental properties. Why was that? Probably because, and again, this is all speculation on my part, but you had this huge wave of, call it, money that people got due to COVID. And over time, it started to wane and wane and wane. And then all of a sudden, we had interest rates, which we're hopeful to be dropping after 1 year of high rates, 2 year of high rates, and then by the third year of those higher rates, it became hard for people to keep up. People were gambling with the fact they thought rates were going to come down, whether it be paying this off or paying that off, carrying all this bad debt. They thought things were going to change, that were going to be able to positively impact their situation, and that didn't happen. So now people have to downsize. This happened last year. Well, what could happen in this particular case again if the price of electricity jumps by 14%? Let's say somebody's paying, that $200 in the springtime. That's jumping up by an extra what, $28, right? It's like, ooh, that could negatively impact people. And how's that going to affect where they're looking to live? And can they continue to afford where they're currently living? So something to keep on the horizon, something to be thinking about. And I'll be paying attention to it and getting you information as the year progresses, because I think this is, again, I've got no serious dog in this fight. I've got no opinion of it, other than the fact that I know how it affects people's pockets when it comes to 14% increases and all of the increases that we've been seeing over the last few years. And what is that going to do to the affordability of the homes that we have? At some point, it's going to give a little bit more, and we're going to have to see, again, another year like last year of prices coming down to match and meet where people are, because otherwise, it'll just continue and we'll keep going down this cycle. again, I think right now one of the biggest challenges we're seeing right now is people don't have the money that we think they do. There's two different stories being told right now, and some of the stories that we're seeing on our end are those that are really just doing their best to make sure that they can get the money to live in the properties that they have and to continue to stay where they are. We're seeing a lot of that this year, and I hope that that can continue. I hope it can. Hey, I appreciate you watching. I will stay on top of this. I think this is a very interesting decision, very interesting things that are happening, but feel free to look it up as well. Look up APS rate increase 2026, and you'll see what's really going on. I appreciate you watching. See ya.